Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Copeland, love coach and dating expert for women over 50. And today we're going to be talking about such an important topic, and that is about feeling invisible in the dating world. Before we get started, though, I would love if you could subscribe to my channel and to like this video. And of course, leave comments if there's something you would like to share with me. I always love hearing from you. All right, let's get started. Are you feeling invisible in the dating world? Well, today we're going to talk about this really important topic that comes up so often for women dating after 50. And it also came up recently on an episode of The Golden Bachelor. One of the women shared with Jerry how invisible she feels in the dating world and that she doesn't feel as significant as she did when she was younger. Carrying a belief like this can hold you back from ever finding love at this time in your life. And the reason it can hold you back is because it comes from a deep place within of the feeling, I am not enough. This belief can be really hard to overcome. And that's why today I want to share with you 5 tips for how you can go from feeling invisible to feeling visible to men again at this time in your life. All right, let's get started. Let's start with tip number 1. I want you to stop comparing yourself to when you were 20. Feeling invisible can rear its ugly head when you compare yourself to women in their 20s who show up on social media with super young, super beautiful, and super wrinkle free faces and bodies. Or you might be looking at a magazine and you see an over 50s actress looking so amazing. And you start thinking, if I don't look like that, who's going to want me? Guess what? They don't look like that either. They've been altered by AI programming. I want you to just think of stories you've heard about people who saw gorgeous models who in real life look nothing like their pictures. So do yourself a favor. Stop comparing yourself to AI generated photos, and they all are AI generated photos today. They aren't real. You also make yourself invisible to men when you look in the mirror and you compare yourself to how you looked in your 20s compared to how you look today. This is a huge trigger for feeling like you're not enough to catch a man's eye, but you are enough. And I want you to remember that a man doesn't know what you look like in your 20s. I remember showing a man I was dating a picture of myself from high school, and I asked him, do you know who this is? He had no idea that that was me. So, an easy way to shift your mindset is to remember that men don't have a clue what you look like in your 20s. And if they're on a date with you, it's because they're attracted to you for who you are today as an amazing woman in her 50s, 60s, or 70s. Let's talk about tip number 2, and that's doing some dating updating. You want to own your magnificence because you are magnificent. And that can be really hard at times to feel, which leads us to another step you can take to help you stop thinking you're invisible. It's called dating updating. It starts by taking a friend and go to your favorite store and look for some new clothes that make you feel great. Try some new makeup, try a new hairstyle. Your goal is to find ways to feel really good about yourself because when you feel good about yourself, you light up, and that makes you very visible to men. Tip number 3 goes with tip number 2, and that's doing the inner work to get your confidence back. If you're not feeling like you're enough, your glow is going to dim and you're going to feel invisible. And a way to lift your confidence is to start appreciating yourself. Ask yourself what you have to offer in a relationship. You're going to find it's more than you probably even thought was there. And if you're not sure what you have to offer, ask your friends because they can objectively remind you of how amazing you really are. The reason you want to feel good about yourself on the inside as well as the outside is because you can only attract from where you are at emotionally, mentally, and physically. And know that men have told me over and over again, they are really turned on by confident women. Feeling confident makes you glow, which makes you visible and gorgeous, both inside and outside to men. Tip number 4, stay away from Debbie and Donnie Downers. Hanging with these types of people can absolutely sabotage your love life. So let's examine who these people are, starting with Debbie Downers. Debbie Downers are often your friends who sit around and complain about men and dating sites and how there is no good man out there to date. What this can do is create fear and anxiety in you. And when you're feeling fearful, this creates self doubt and it makes it hard for you to be seen, thus keeping you invisible. And when you're worried you'll attract scammers or you think that no man will like you over 50, they actually do. Or quality men don't hang out on dating sites, then who do you attract? Non-quality men, because that's what your vibration is sending out to the universe. No one is good out there for me to date. People love to have their negative experiences validated. And that's what Debbie Downers do when they only focus on the negative aspects of dating. Their stories keep them stuck because they are only looking at potential problems and they absolutely cannot see the possibilities. So, how do you avoid Debbie Downers? Well, when you're hanging out with your friends and they go into a negative rant about dating, you can ask them to change the subject because you want to stay positive and upbeat about meeting men. If they continue, you can sweetly say, I'm heading to the ladies' room. Just text me when you're done talking about this. Bitching keeps you disempowered and invisible. Plus, it keeps your dream at arm's length. Honoring yourself and your needs keeps you empowered and keeps you open to how you can make your dream come true. It's your choice for which way you want to go there. So let's now go on to Donnie Downers. These are men who say things like, I only date women in their 30s. And they think their way of dating is how all men date. It's not true for all men. But if you keep reading or hearing that type of statement, it can make you feel invisible to men because you think this is how all men think. I want to share with you that there are lots of high quality men who date women closer to their age. I had a client who met an amazing man 10 years younger than she is, and they got married. I've had clients date men close to their age or 3 to 5 years younger or older, and they now live together in amazing long-term committed relationships. It's true that men often try out dating younger women, but they end up finding they have nothing in common. And if you ask women in their 30s if they want to date a guy in his 50s or 60s, they'll scrunch their nose and say, that's like dating my grandpa. Young women who date older men usually do it for one of two reasons. Number one is they might have daddy issues, meaning their father either passed away when they were young or he was absent from their lives growing up. And they work this out with an older man in a relationship. Or number two, they want a more affluent lifestyle than a man their age can provide. The best thing you can do when you read something like men only date younger women is to tell yourself this is only one man's belief. And because of his belief, he's not a good match for me. Tip number 5 is about opening your heart to love. So many women I've spoken with have shared that they got so hurt in their last relationship that they just don't know if they can do it again. And they're so afraid of feeling that kind of pain again and aren't sure they want to risk that happening again at this time in their life. So they start to hide and protect their hearts by not meeting new men, which makes them feel invisible because they're not out there. If your heart is hiding from love, consider working with a therapist or a coach on how to open up again to your dream of connection with a good man. It's worth doing the work because when your heart is open, you glow, and that's when good men will see you. I would love to hear your comments. If you have them, please leave them below. And again, I hope you'll subscribe and like my channel. And I look forward to sharing more with you next time about finding love after 50. So believing in you, you've got this.